Welcome back to the Poor Belly Princess Kitchen. Today I'm doing something a little bit different, and I wanted to share this experience with you just to see if this is something that you do in your part of the country, part of your culture, or if this sounds a little strange to you. I am cooking for a family who has recently had a loss. We do this in the Appalachian Mountains. If someone suffers a loss, a family member dies, a good friend dies, we take food. It's part of service to them, it's part of showing our love to them, and it's not uncommon. In fact, at my church, I'm part of a team, and this team gets notified if we're next on the list. We have several teams to come and serve food for the family directly after the funeral. It's just our way of showing love for the ones who are grieving and the ones who are left behind. It's just what we do here in my part of rural Appalachia. So today, I thought I would fix up a dessert tray to take to the family, and I'm going to start with an Appalachian favorite that I think the kids will really like, some Rice Krispie treats. Everybody loves Rice Krispie treats. My dad loves Rice Krispie treats. In fact, I thought no one could make them except my dad when I was growing up. But I'm going to show you today a different way to make these that I just recently found out about. So I'm going to take 6 half tablespoon pats of butter, and I'm going to put them into my 9x13 pan. But I think before I begin, I'm going to spray my 9x13 pan really, really well. Watch this. Now this is the spray that has the flour in it as well. And so I've got it sprayed, and now I'm going to put my 6 pats of butter just into my 9x13 pan. All right, there we go. So I've got my butter in my pan, and now I'm going to put in 24 of the big puffy marshmallows. All right, so I'm going to get them out 4 at a time, and I'm just going to place those on top of my pats of butter. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And now I have my 24 marshmallows on top of my butter. All right, let's see what's next. Now I'm going to take 6 cups of the Rice Krispies, and I'm just going to pour that over top of my marshmallow butter mixture. 1 cup. Oops. 2, 3, 4, 5, and since I accidentally put a little too much, I'll just go half a cup on the next one. 6. I'm going to pat that together. I'm going to pop this into a 350 oven and let it bake for 20 minutes. Here we go. The second dessert that I'm going to make to send on the dessert tray is chess bars. Now I do have another full-length video showing how to make chess bars, but here's a quick and easy way to get them done when you're doing something like this. I have 1 yellow cake mix in my mixer. Now I just happen to have this butter golden cake mix, and I'm going to use it. You can use any kind of yellow cake mix for your base, because this is going to be your crust of the chess bars. So I have my cake mix already in here, and to that I'm going to add 1 stick of butter melted, and then I'm also going to add 1 egg. I already have my egg ready to put in here, and I'm just going to mix this up quickly. That's going to be our base, and it's ready. let me show you this. And then we're going to move on to the topping or the filling that goes with it. I am going to take my 9x13 pan, oops, and spray it. This is just a cooking spray. Spread the crust layer into the bottom of the pan. Like I said, this is going to be the base layer. While that's spreading out, I'm going to wash this up and we'll be ready to do the next layer. We're ready for step 2. To make the icing or the nice glaze that goes over the top of the chest bars, you need 1 block of cream cheese. I've had this one sitting out for, about 45 minutes, so it's quite softened. You also need 2 eggs. Pour those in. And my recipe calls for 1 box of powdered sugar. I don't buy my powdered sugar in a box, but I figured out that that comes out to about 2 cups of powdered sugar. So I'm going to add in 2 cups of powdered sugar. And we're just going to mix that together. The topping is ready, and so I'm just going to scrape this out on top of my base layer. Make sure it spreads all the way out into the corners, and I'm going to stick this into the oven at 350 degrees for about 35 minutes. I will check it at 30 minutes just to make sure it's not getting too brown. I find if you let this cook too long and it gets too brown in the corners, it gets hard and tough in the corners and it's not done in the middle. So kind of keep an eye on it. Check it at 30 minutes. Here we go.
35 minutes starting now.
Wow, that looks yummy. Same time, I'm gonna pop in my chest bars. Let those bake for 35 minutes. Now, meanwhile, we've got another step to do on our Rice Krispie treats here. So, the pan is hot. Do be careful and use caution on this step. Okay, looking for my small spatula, because what I'm going to do now is mix together all of these yummy marshmallows and Rice Krispies. I'm just going to mash those all together. I need something to hold this hot pan with. Here's a tip. Make sure you leave your mitten on so you don't burn your hands during this step. And you can see how the marshmallows are just so gooey and they are just soaking right up all those Rice Krispies that we had on top. I'm going to have to say, so far, this is much easier than the old version of melting it on the stove and then combining it all together. So, and I'm finding that because the butter was on the bottom, look how easily that's slipping through this pan, this glass pan. All right, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna just mash it down now into my pan and let it cool just like you would the old traditional method of making Rice Krispie treats. Trying to make sure I have all of the Rice Krispies incorporated into the marshmallow. Although, to be honest, it doesn't bother me if I get a bite of heavily marshmallowed pieces. But there we go. That was super simple. I suggest you give this one a try. We'll see when I cut them, but so far, much easier and tasty too. We'll check back with this after the chest bars come out and see how they do. I may stick them in the fridge to cool faster. So the chest bars are out. We're just gonna let those cool for about 30 minutes and then we can cut those and see how they taste. The Rice Krispie treats have cooled and we're ready to cut these into squares and see how this new method worked out. Well, so far, they're pretty easy to cut. So that's a plus. I'm thinking it's that butter, those 6 pats of butter we put on the bottom of the pan before we put it into the oven that help with that. And now for the taste test. I really can't tell a difference between the traditional way and this way. So this may be my new way of making Rice Krispie treats. It was easier, it was faster, there's less cleanup. I suggest you try it. So good. Well, the chest bars are ready and I sliced them up and placed them in this to-go container because that's just going to be easier for the family to take along with them so they can have them in the days to come. So they're ready to go. I did have 1 or 2 extra and I thought, why not give it a little taste test? So here's the chest bar. Here we go. I love the corner pieces. I just love this crunchiness that you get here. Some people only like the gooey middle pieces. I love the crunchy corners myself, so it doesn't bother me at all to eat the crunchy pieces. It's yummy. Thank you for joining me here again on the Poor Valley Princess. I hope maybe you learned something today about how we support each other in our community. Cooking is love for us, and serving this family tomorrow some desserts is just a little something that I can do to show them how much I love them, to support them in their time of their grief. And that's just what we do here in rural Appalachia. I'll see you next time here on the Poor Valley Princess. Bye.